Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Tuesday morning, and a beautiful day here, Ontario, Canada. Well, that's where we're from. That's why we thought we'd mention it this morning for all new viewers. And the show comes from here in the summertime, and then we head down the States in the winter for Joey's professional golf career. So we spend a great time up here in the summertime. But anyway, I also want to mention the website, ultimatesportschannel.com. For those of you who are new, head over there. Sports feed, we got every single sport, even the ones we can't comment on, are there in our sports feed, and great opportunity for you to read some great stories. There's actually some other podcasts. I mean, you know, there's podcasts all over the place that are great, and you can, you know, be with us and a couple other podcasts that all have their own opinions, which is the fun thing about sports. We even have our own opinions, but certainly when you watch others, they have them as well. So we're happy to spread it around and have you guys listening and telling people you know to come to our podcast and others. So anyway, that's just the channel. It also shows you all the places that we're up for podcasts. We do both audio and video, so you can watch it or you can download the audio of the car, wherever you happen to be that you want to listen to it as a non-video product. You can do that as well. And we're going to head into a topic here that we really avoided. Not because we aren't involved in sports, just 162 game schedule is exhausting to report on. There's live shows every morning about every single game, and they got a multitude of researchers that can get them stats, and we just can't keep up with it all. So we decided with MLB that we'd wait till we got closer to the playoffs here and really look at the teams that got a shot here, do our selections right now. It's probably something we're going to need to do almost weekly, maybe constantly be a Tuesday show, and be in a spot where we can see if there's any major changes that are happening to the standings, the wild card, because that's what really matters. And that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to do the MLB once a week on Tuesdays to catch up on the weekend. The week of baseball just occurred. We would do it on Mondays. So Monday's already a jam-packed day with all the sports that happen on the weekend. So we're going to do it every Tuesday, and we're going to take a look at where we stand. Now, the one thing that we do know, we're from Toronto, and we don't stand anywhere.
Yeah.
However, we'll give a shout out because we always got to play to the home team. You guys hopefully can appreciate that. But 10 of their last 15 wins and hitting home runs and multiple hits and a couple of really exciting players on the Blue Jays. So that's our hope. That's where we hope we're going because the team's been horrible. But if you're looking into the future, the offense looks amazing on the Jays right now.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how they'll face real pitching going forward when pitchers start to care.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll see. That's what they're supposed to be. But, you know, when you're so far out of it, I feel like, you know, obviously even at this point, other teams are out of it too. And those are kind of what you're being up on. Now, I like the Yankees series because the Yankees still need to win. You feel like they probably put in the time to scout your players. But, you know, we'll see going forward. I'm not going crazy yet. First of all, it's a long road for the Jays, for the rest of the team to even come together. And you're still in a division with the Yankees and Red Sox. If you can't lock these guys up, they'll go to the Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah.
So,
but they're really young. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, it's just hard to get passionate about it when you know that anytime they get good, the best you're going to have is a couple years. And then you still have to go buy pitching. You know, we have not developed well pitchers. The trades we made to get pitching was really poor. We traded away our pitching when we got David Price way back when.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't looked good in that department. So are you going to go out and buy a bunch of pitching when these batters are ready?
Well,
some would say the batters are ready as soon as next year. You just don't know. The runs are putting up now. It's something you got to consider. But when you're in a division with the Yankees, Red Sox, and Tampa Bay's having a great year, good luck. So
let's not try and go too far ahead then. Let's look at what's happening right now. If you're going to be bad, at least be bad scoring a lot of runs. At least it's fun. Yeah. You got two young stars. Matter of fact, Bissett, what's his name?
Bo Bissett.
He set a record for a start in a career, 13 straight games with hitting a double or more, and so some things to be excited. Obviously, our number one guy won the home run derby, so we're pretty excited about it. Well, he put up the most home runs.
Yeah,
the stupid system they had in place there, but he put up the most home runs on the night. And anyway, lots to be excited about there in watching the games, at least of a bad team. So not so bad. Lots of runs being scored. As a matter of fact, he scored 19 runs the other day. So so that's pretty amazing. Anyhow, let's get into the real teams that have got real shots here in finishing up. We're going to look at the two divisions. We're going to look first of all here at the American League. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. Division leaders are going to stay there, or the one in the Cleveland, Minnesota, they could flip-flop, although we believe Cleveland's going to continue on now. They went 8-2 in their last 10. Looks like they're going to put the momentum on here. But the worst will happen is Minnesota would take over. They're going to both be in the playoffs. One as a wild card, one as a division winner. So we're only really looking now probably at Oakland and Tampa. Who's gonna beat out who in that area?
So you really got Oakland and Tampa in the last wild card spot. Like I said, I don't see much changing the AL. The Yankees are obviously way out there, which is expected, and honestly, it better be with
$1 billion payroll.
Yeah, so they really got to get a title this year, in my mind, for them to be, happy with their result. But anyways, they're going to win that division. That's fine. You got Houston, who, again, you want to talk about payroll or stacked teams. I mean, Houston is just, like, insane with their pitching core and staff. It's actually unfair.
You need Houston, though, to make up for your NBA disappointment, because you followed Houston through
They've already won a World Series for me. So, but yeah, Houston went out and got Zach Greinke at the deadline, which is why when I get to the end, I'll say Arizona's dead. They've given up. But Houston now has got Zach Greinke along with Verlander, along with Sanchez. I mean, I can't even think of, like, that team right now. It's like an all-star team. It's good. So, those divisions are wrapped up. The Cleveland, Minnesota one, the reason why I think Cleveland will continue, obviously, I've seen their 8-2 record in the last 10, which makes me believe that. I feel like they're the more veteran team. They also got Yasiel Puig at the deadline. I think he got a good role on a better team like Cleveland. He's kind of a guy, like, if he gets disinterested, that's when he actually causes the most trouble. So now being on a good team, a team that, like, isn't desperate to have him, can control him a little bit better, and I think he'll provide some value there. Has proven to be a bit of a spark as they've gone 8-2 in 10 games.
Right.
They also got good pitching staff. They got rid of Bauer, who was a bit of a mental case, so they kind of just, sewed some things up for me that in this division I think they'll run away and finish first. Minnesota and Oakland are really the battle of the wild card here. And Tampa Bay, but I think Minnesota is more locked in for the top wild card spots. So you got Tampa Bay and Oakland really battling out. I like Tampa Bay a lot. They've been consistent all year in a tough division too. They really had to, they have had to play.
Let's look at my favorite movie, Moneyball. Come on, Oakland's got to finally get there. It's amazing what they can do on their payroll. I love it.
Oakland's got great pitching this year, and I think that the great pitching can carry obviously a lot more than good hitting. But Tampa Bay, I mean, all around is doing really well, and they have great relievers to go with their starters. And the records of their starters and their relievers are just so good right now. And I'm really impressed with them. With, like I said, they got to play Boston and Yankees a lot throughout the year. And now even the Jays, which might cause you a problem come playoff time. They can easily be spoilers.
Yeah.
So, I'm really impressed with Tampa Bay in that division. Obviously, I think our hearts want to go to Oakland. What they go through every year. In theory, with their division, they should get some easier wins than maybe Tampa Bay. That should help them out. Although anytime they got to play Houston, you're looking almost at probably at least 2 losses out of 3, maybe 3 in a row. That's how good
Houston is. And then Yankees and Boston.
Yeah, but
Jays,
Oakland doesn't. Yeah, no, Oakland doesn't have to play.
I'm saying that Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay has to play the Yankees, the Sox, and now the Jays. Like I said, even though we know their record, the Jays can obviously they beat Yankees winning, 2 out of 3. So. Really the only easy games divisional wise that Tampa Bay's going to get is Baltimore. The easy games Oakland's going to get is virtually everyone's besides Houston, where that's always going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a tough one. I'd like to see Oakland get there. I think they can. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They've won 1 in a row. Nothing crazy, but I think they can continue and have a bit of a better schedule if they get some more divisional games going for them. They should have the advantage there. That's where it's going to come down to for me. Tampa Bay, I mean, they've lived on this pitching, and when you think of pitching, I mean, they're the only people that have the ball most of the game. So,
but they need to win because they had a hard hockey season.
Well, I don't even. Yeah, I mean,
first place to
they need to win because they need fans. They need to build a. They need to build a team.
Well, that was where this ridiculous conversation of Montreal as a separate city came up, and they definitely need to solidify in Tampa Bay and trying to get that new stadium.
These are really they won't get a new stadium, but these are really 2 franchises that both need to really make the playoffs, to be honest with you, desperately to get fans to continue the growth of baseball in their area, to get people to come out to the games. It's going to be tough. I'm going to give the slight edge to Houston, not necessarily based on the skill of the team or the stats right now. That would go to Tampa, but just based on what I think the schedule will provide. I think Oakland should get a bit of an easier one. I'm hoping that Oakland can get to the playoffs too. And then, I think Minnesota is going to hang on to the top wildcard spot, which ultimately put Tampa Bay out of position, unfortunately for Tampa Bay Ray fans. But I think it's better for baseball. You get Oakland in there. That's always good, I think, especially based off the movie.
Always a story,
Minnesota's had a good couple of years now after going from last to first. Same with Houston. Houston 4 years ago was in last place. 5 years ago was in last place. Now they're
winning a division easily.
So Minnesota, same way. Now they're doing good. They made the playoffs last year, made the playoffs this year. So, you got a good wild card there shaping up, but really only a couple teams that can flip-flop there. So it'll be interesting going forward. We're going to give a slight edge to Oakland.
So the American division, pretty simple. Not the case in the National League. This is This is what you want out of playoffs. It's incredible. So many teams in it. But we do have the divisional winners again. Pretty easy in 2 of the divisions. So Dodgers and Atlanta, should easily finish off their divisions without anybody catching them. And then you got the Cubs of St. Louis and Milwaukee, that anyone within the 3 can become the winner there. And it's not as guaranteed as it was in the American League where with Cleveland and Minnesota, whoever wins, the other one's probably going to be the wild card. This is not the case with this division. There's lots of wild card teams out there that can come and make some trouble.
It's a division where winning your division, might be the only team that gets in the playoffs.
It's critical, out of a division.
But at the same time, 3 of them can make the playoffs.
So we're gonna we like the division leaders though. I think we like them to continue on.
I like Chicago. Their run differential is much more impressive than the other teams. They've had a good last 10 games. They are the more skilled and better team. I believe that for sure. They should really just go on to continue. Like I said, I love that run differential. It hasn't resulted to enough wins right now. But going forward, it's going to even out, and you'll get more wins when you score, obviously, more runs than what you let in. So that, I think, will play more into the win-loss record and will eventually help the Cubs secure that division win. So you'll get the Chicago Cubs, LA Dodgers, and Atlanta. Now, the wild card, I think, will shake up quite a bit. We got, Washington here, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Mets, Philly.
We've got a cheering
San Francisco.
We got a cheering part of the NL when our top pitcher went to the Mets. Everybody went, this is crazy. Why are the Mets doing this?
Yeah.
They went on and on about how they're going to retrade him and get someone else, and why are they bothering, and blah, blah, blah. And here they are, 8-2 in their last 10 since our pitcher went there.
8-2 in the last 10, and they're pitching.
And they're going now.
You got Zeller, Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Stroman. I mean, if I'm looking for a team to get to a playoffs, and then more importantly, get to the playoffs and make a difference in the playoffs, I'm looking at the Mets. That's insane starting pitching right there. Very impressive stuff. Obviously, it's been shown by their last 10 record of 8-2. They didn't make the trades people thought they'd make at the deadline. I think they saw this coming. I'm all over the Mets. I think they make the playoffs guaranteed.
They got the one key pitcher was Stroman off our team. He's a great pitcher.
Well, I think he's a great pitcher, but I think he probably added a little bit of a juice to that team. I think both sides were maybe shocked by the trade, but maybe it gave the players in the Mets locker room belief that, okay, we're going to go for it here. That's why they went on and got him.
But they didn't make further trades.
And when they didn't make him, they didn't trade Syndergaard or him. So now I look at those 4 pitchers. I have full confidence. Any series, I give them an edge. So that's awesome there. I think the Mets make it. They need to make it too, by the way. They made it a couple years ago and actually were making runs. Looked like they'd make runs in the playoffs for many years to come. They've kind of butchered their situation with the great pitching they've had. They've had some weird managers. They've had weird relationships. Matt Harvey ended up going.
Well, this year was a complete mess early on. They seem to have gotten it together.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Exactly. If you watch our trade show when Stroman went there, we said this was likely going to happen.
Yeah, and it's just they just butchered really some moments, and now looks like they've got it all together. They got the pitching they need. They got the runs. Their differential's pretty good. I see them making the playoffs. They're the hottest team right now in baseball, and I think it'd be great for baseball to have the other New York team make the playoffs. I think obviously crowds would be huge. But what's even more important is
the TV guys and their sponsors love it.
If they can make it and they get past that one game and actually get into a series, would really be a huge win for MLB and the New York Mets. But they're my team to really get in the wild card right now. We see Washington here.
Well, the rest of it's a mess. So I just want to comment, it was kind of easy, in the American League, but here, no one's actually playing well right now. Other than the Mets, they're all 500. 6-4 Washington, 4-6 St. Louis. 5-5 Milwaukee, 3-7 Philly, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. There's no team that's kind of building momentum right now to take over, and that's what's making it very difficult to predict who's going to be there.
With the Mets. It's all with the Mets. The Mets should ride this out and make the playoffs. I'm eliminating Arizona. I'm eliminating Cincinnati. I'm even eliminating San Francisco. I don't think they have enough to get it done. What I do like is Milwaukee to turn it around here. I can't believe that they're not. Yeah, so I'm real disappointed with Milwaukee this year, obviously making the playoffs and being a good team and having the former NL MVP and Christian Yelich. Their run differential is pretty poor. They're actually minus 20. It's amazing they've actually been able to hang in the playoff race here. But I'm hoping they can turn something around, on the heels of their ace, who hasn't had a great job after the All-Star break. But Woodruff needs to get going. The whole pitching core really could get better.
They're only half a game out of the wild card.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I look at them. Washington, I
think it's just hard to pick.
Yeah, it's hard to pick. But I think St. Louis, I'd eliminate St. Louis. I'm really looking at Washington's going to hold on to that top card spot. I'm really looking at the Mets and Milwaukee battling out for the second spot. They could upset Washington. I don't like St. Louis. I mean, for me,
on a 3-game winning streak.
I know, but for me, St. Louis, the pitch is not strong enough for me to think that they can carry it through these last couple months of the season. When crucial games come down to it, I always love great pitching because the pitcher, at the end of the day, takes the mound with the ball, controls the game. So I look at Milwaukee, who last year had great pitching. In fact, in the playoffs, would pull pitchers in the 4th inning and put in their relievers.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that to turn around. The Mets have great pitching. So honestly, I'm looking at the Mets and Milwaukee making runs here. Does that push Washington and St. Louis out right now? Possibly. But definitely St. Louis for me is gone. So if I'm breaking it down, I'm like the Mets, Milwaukee, Washington. They're going to be the 3 battling out, I think, at the end of the year. And really, that's my pick. You know, you got Philly as well. I don't like them. Bryce Harper has had a horrible season as far as I'm concerned. We knew that going in. It was too much money, in my opinion. But we'll see what they can do at the end of the year here. He doesn't control enough of the game. The pitching is pretty good with Jake Arrieta, a couple starters, but I'm not thrilled with that team. In my mind, that's always going to have drama now with Bryce Harper, too.
Right.
And it's always about Harper. So I feel like that team's going to have difficulty closing it out, getting into the playoffs.
Unless he gets hot and they get a positive feel.
Right. That could obviously change in a second and obviously get the media on their side to go with it, too. Yeah. But really right now, teams who are playing good, who have the stuff, who will get it on their side.
So you're calling Washington and St. Louis to drop out?
Yeah.
And Milwaukee and the Mets to move in.
Yeah, I really like Milwaukee and the Mets. And more importantly, though, the Mets were the bet. When they got Stroman, they were the team that everyone should have looked at. And we looked at it once they didn't trade Syndergaard. If they traded Syndergaard and Mets, I was like, okay, they're Syndergaard and Stroman. I felt like they got Stroman for a bigger deal from another team. But when they held on to Syndergaard, that told you that they were trying to win and now get in the playoffs. And they kept Stroman too. And they obviously have the budget that this summer I think they'll be able to keep all these guys. I think they snuck under the radar here with that trade and is now going to be a playoff team. If they ever get in a series, guys, I mean, with that starting pitching in 5 games, you could face Zealer, DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Stroman.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, like good luck beating them in a series. So
the hard part for them will be the one game.
That's the key.
That's too bad, right?
What pitcher do you throw? They got so many great pitchers. They can throw any one of them out there. But yes, that will be the key for the Mets. But I think they're more than anybody. I mean, we talk about the Nationals, Milwaukee, St. Louis falling out, but more than anybody, the Mets need to get in there. They're my team. We got a little bit of a cheering squad there of Stroman, who was great to our city and great to the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah. And I actually wish we'd
like to see him do well.
We like to see him do well. But really, for me,
at the trade, we thought they did nothing for him. Now, all of a sudden,
he was pissed off.
Maybe they have done something for him.
He thought he was going to go to the Yankees. He went to the Mets. He was not happy. But now he's realizing he might have been on a team where, one, he's going to have a huge impact and maybe get him to the playoffs and go on a run with them in the NL, which I think is better for him at the end of the day.
Without a doubt. So there you go. That's our thoughts. Like I said, the National League's a mess, so it's really hard to,
have fun
pick.
Watching that.
But we're going to come back every Tuesday, see what the week looks like, what it changed. Obviously, within baseball, it's 7 games. A lot can change in a week for baseball, unlike most other sports. So we'll do our show every Tuesday, recap where things stand, if we're seeing any differences in what we're seeing today. And obviously, that can change easily at 7. Somebody can go 1-6, someone can go 6-1. All of a sudden, our whole picture's changed. So every Tuesday, we'll do the MLB report, and we'll look forward to chatting then.